I can't believe you came back. But I'm glad you did, because it's time to turn our text dungeon into something you can visualize in the scene view. So let's get started. Hello and welcome back. So just a quick recap of what we did last time. We wrote a little script that would allow us to create a sort of prototype maze, but we did hit a couple of problems in the output. Let me just quickly Control C that, spin over to here and take a look. We end up with these closed loops here. That's a problem. Possibly a problem, I don't know. You might not think so. So that they can never be reached, basically. Maybe that's an issue. And this one's a good example of one that seems to have worked quite nicely, but let's just run it again. It can run into issues here. Here we go. It's a better example. Control C. Let's try it again. Control C. There we go. We've got these dead ends like this one here that the effective terminators. There's no shape that can go in there. We'll take a look at those, but I thought just to break the monotony a little bit, I thought maybe we could do something a bit more visual today in this episode. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start creating very simple shapes that mirror these lines and crosses and corners in our text map. And then what we can do is we can then make sort of, if you like, map each individual shape to each individual character to a different shape in Unity, and try and map that onto the screen, just to see how that looks on the screen. The way I'm going to do this is I'm going to create each of the characters, spinning over here. I'm going to create each of these ones here, and I think I might even call them 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, so that it's really clear which one's which. So let's do that now. I'll start off with a very simple object here. Let's just create a 3D object, a cube, and let's go to top view. Let's go scene view. There we go. Let's go top view just by clicking Y. It's on ISO mode. If you see the arrow there, then click it again so you've got the 3 lines there. And we'll just make sure we've reset that to 0, 0, 0. And what we'll then do is we will copy that twice and move 1 to 1 and the other one to -1. And if I got this right, the first character is a dash. Look, so this needs to this needs to be a 1. So let's just and what I'll then do is I'll create an empty. Again, reset the position and rotation, and just drag those 3 in, and we'll call this what did I just do there? We'll call this shape 1, and then let's create a new folder here called prefab shapes or something like that. Prefab shapes, and then we'll just drag that in. There, like that. Alright, so we go in there. Now what we should be able to do now is if I just now rotate that on the Y by 90, and we'll call that shape 0. The key thing to remember here is that the center point has to be in the center of the object itself. For corner ones, it'll need to be. I'll show you just to make life a bit more straightforward. So I've rotated that 90 degrees, and that's shape 0. Good. Let's have a look and see what the next one, shape 2, is a corner one. Now the way we're going to work this is we're going to grab this fella here, reset that to 0, and then we're going to get this top one. That's the center one, the cube there. So we'll get cube 1, and we'll move it across. There we go. It's on the X is 1, and set the Z back to 0. All right. So what they're saying here now is that this shape here, if we rotate it, I'm hoping this will work nicely. There, it rotates around that corner point there. Let's just set that back to 0, and that's important, okay? Because when we put these onto the map, they're going to need to have that central point there as the position. Okay, so this we're going to call shape 2, if I'm right. PF2 shape 2, and then we will drag that down. And then shape 3 is the other side. So if I just grab this, just grab it, click cube 1, and then drag it to the other side. So it's -1. Oh, look at that, I got that perfect. -1, and that's going to be shape 3. How are we getting on? And then just drag that in, like so. You get the idea. What we can now do, I think, is grab this, flip it on the Y by 90. There we go, 90. And what is it? Which one is that? That's actually, if that's 4, this is shape 5, isn't it? So let's do that. We can do that. F2 shape 5 and drag that in. And shape 4. Excuse me. Come on, which one is it? Cube 2 will be that side. Again, so Z is 1. There you go. It does seem to click here. It's clicking into position, I think. Oh, if you're not sure, just type 1 in there. Like I say, I'll create a package for this so you can do it. Okay, that's shape 4, isn't it? PF2 shape 4, and so on. Let's drag that in. I'm going to finish the last few off in pause mode. No, I won't, because I want to do the T one now as well. So where's the center point? Right. So what we need to do for the next one is this one here, which is shape 6. That makes sense. Is get the center point, which was, let's just grab shape 0 and bring that in. So I'm just going to delete this one. Shape 0. No, let's try again. Control Z, shape 1. And then what I'll do is I will just create another, where's the center cube? That one. I'll just Control D that and pull it out. Again, X is on 1. I think that's shape 6. Yes, it is. Shape 6, so we can just call that shape 6. Drag it in. We're almost there, aren't we? Shape 7's easy, isn't it? You just need to grab that. Oh, Control Z. Come on. Oh. Grab that cube there and do it on -1. Call that shape 7. And then drag that in. How close are we? We've got to be nearly done, haven't we? That's the 2T. Oh, we've got the up and the down T, so now we can grab shape 7, rotate it 90, and call it shape 8. Okay, and then drag that down there. Shape 9 is going to be the same thing, isn't it, with it rotated -90, I hope. Yep. So that's shape 9. And finally, what's shape 10? Oh, it's across. It's across. So all we need to do with shape 10 is just find the center one, Control D, and pull it up there. So that's the x-axis one. That surprises me slightly. I thought that would have been the z-axis. It's not rotated. I don't really care as long as this is. Ah, yes, so that needs to be 0. That's why. Let's quickly go to top view again. That's 0, and then so you become. It still worked, didn't it? Of course it did, because it's the crossroads. Yes, fair point. And that can be shape 10. Okay, shape 10. Alright, and then we'll just drag that down there. And guys, that is all of the shapes I think that these box characters represent. So now, when we've got, we can match them one to one to our grid here, and then start placing them out. If I've got this right, then all of the centers will be this center point here, and that means that we'll space them out by 3 each time, and they should fit in the right place. That's the theory anyway. So let's get some coding that can do that. Let's do that now. Alrighty, so in order to do this, what we'll need to do is create a new script. I think, here we go, if we just go into here and create C# script, this is where I rename it badly again, but let's call it something like dungeon display. Oh, I don't like that much, but okay, it'll do for now. And then what we'll do in here is we will have a public game object shapes. And then if we go back into our thing here, I'll just save that. Maximize that as well. I don't know why that wasn't maximized. We'll just go back into here, and then if we just drag that dungeon display into the game object here, which I probably should call something like game manager for now, and it's got this shapes array. There's nothing in it right now. Now, in order to add those, what we're going to need to do is just delete that one there as well, because that is actually a prefab. So in order to add these, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to lock this and click there, and then go over to the prefab shapes, select 0 to 10. And then add them, and hopefully this is going to work. Drag them across there, and it's done them in reverse order. Okay, interesting. Okay, so let's just set that to 0. I don't know why it did that. Let's try that again. I'm going to do 0 and then 10 and drag them in. It's done them in a funky order. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 5, 3, 2, 0, 1. Brilliant. Okay, so what we'll have to do then, now that they're there, is just drag them in one by one. That's annoying. If anybody knows how to fix that, please do let me know. Shape 4's in the right place. Oh, hang on. Sorry, no, I put it in the wrong place myself, haven't I? Shape 3, shape 4, there we go. Then shape 5 in shape 4, shape 6. Oh, this is confusing. Shape 6, there we go, in element 6. Shape 7 in element 7. Shape 8 in element 8. Shape 9 in element 9. And shape 10 in shape 10, like so. Alright, that's a very annoying. Let's click on there and let's click on Game Manager now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gosh, if that was a large array and you wanted them in the right order, this isn't probably the best way to do it actually. There are other ways I could do this, but let's go with that. Let me have a quick slurp of my tea. There we go. Keeps me going. Being British, I live off tea. Right, so we're going to hit that. So now we've done that, one thing I've realised, if we go back to our scripts and we look at map generator, we want this map to be generated before this dungeon display actually does anything. So let's do this. Let's, rather than put this in start, we'll put this in awake, and that runs before start. I hope I've got it right, and that means that when we get our dungeon display here, if we go into dungeon display, help me out here guys, there we go, and then we will have in our object here, we'll have a private, I guess, private map generator, and this is my, I guess, my Java coding days. You see, what I tend to do is put a lowercase, but exactly the same word, and then we're going to say map generator equals get component map generator. I think that's going to work. Let's just see if that throws an error. Sometimes that can throw a funky error. That's fine. That's fine. So then we say what we are after then from the map generator is the actual maze itself, the map. There, right? That's a private. So I'm going to make that public. Yeah, I'm going to make that public, which means it might appear in the map generator script here. No, it doesn't. Good. It doesn't appear in the inspector. That's good. Some things do, some things don't. I think arrays don't appear. Multi-dimensional arrays don't appear. I guess that's a good thing. Alright, so it's public char map, so we can go back to our display here, and then, in fact, what we can even say, so then we'll say, what was it? Was it a char array? It was, wasn't it? A char array. We could say map generator dot map. So yeah, we don't need to do that. What we'll now do now is we'll say for brackets. What the other thing we're going to need a reference to the characters, aren't we? So that we know which ones to map them to. These ones here. So box characters equals, is box characters public or it's private? I'm going to have to make that public, and that's going to appear then, isn't it? We could do get calls on these. For now, I'm just going to leave them as public. I'm probably going to have to refactor that code a bit later on. So what we can do now is in our dungeon display here. So we'll say for brackets int r equals 0 semicolon. Right, apologies, my phone is ringing off the hook. I'm going to get a job soon. And then we're going to say map generator dot map. Oh, now hang on. Now I have to remind myself what the map columns is. How do I do that? I could make that. There's a way to get a multi-dimensional array, isn't there? Size. Do you know what? For now, I'm just not going to care. I'm just going to say map generator dot map rows semicolon r plus plus. It's going to be 1 though as well. It's going to be 1 because remember the x is the first row. In fact, indeed, it's going to be a map row. R is less than. map generators.rows -1, and we'll do the same for the columns. For brackets int int c equals 1, c is less than map columns -1 semicolon C++, which is a fabulous language but outdated. Right, okay, so we've got those there. So what we now need to do is we need to find the character that exists there. So we'll just say char. We'll just do a debug for now. So we'll just say debug.log character at quotes plus r plus quotes comma quotes plus c plus quotes equals quotes plus map generator dot map r comma c brackets semicolon. That looks pretty handy. So we're going to go through it. I mean, this isn't going to do anything right now. It's just going to prove that we actually can get our map generator working. So let's just see dungeon generator dungeon display working. So let's just run this. Well, this is a good start, isn't it? You can see, so it's gone through and it's created them all there. I'm hoping the very top one there, this one here, produces a map, which it does, and then yeah, you can see that each character is looking pretty correct. Good. So now we should be able to do is say, how can we turn that to a string? It's char.toStrings, and so we just say string char equals this here dot toString, and then we'll say index of, oh god, this is, here we go, so this is going to be it now, int charpos, something like that, equals map generator dot map, no, dot box characters dot index of, there you go, and then it's going to be brackets ch. So what that's going to do now is it's going to tell us where in the box characters, in box characters here that exists. Alright, so we're going to be looking at all the different, so if it's 0 it's there, and this is good news because it means, as you remember, the 0 here we've mapped to a straight line on our prefabs, so I'm hoping that that will map in nicely. This could all go completely wrong, or it could work first time. What do you think? Okay, so let's go. So now we'll just say plus quotes brackets or something. No, space brackets. Quotes plus charpos plus quotes brackets quotes, something like that, just to show where that position is, so we can just do a double check. All compiler errors have to be fixed. What have I done? I don't see it immediately. What's wrong with it? I assume it's that line. Hang on. 13,40. No, so it's just toString is it's a method, isn't it? Sorry. How's that? Okay, good. There, that's worked. Okay, and you can see now the position. So that little T shape there is position 8 in box chars, and that hopefully relates to this T shape here. We can see it's the T shape. Whether it's the right direction or not, it's another matter. Right, good. So now we just need to instantiate that object. So we're going to say the following. Let me quickly grab that from the internet so I don't waste your time. Okay, here we go. Instantiate. It's amazing. I'll come back as an expert, isn't it? And it's going to be shapes, charpos, and then new vector 3. So we just need to make it something like, I'm going to get this around the right way. It might be, so new vector 3 brackets. So the y-axis is going to be 0. So it's just the x and z. So it'd be r, comma 0, comma z, and we're going to need to times them by 3 times 3 and z times 3. not Z, excuse me, C times 3, the columns times 3. That might be around the wrong way. We'll find out in a minute. And then we do this thing saying quaternion.identity. So I think that means keep the same rotation. Well, it hasn't thrown an error. Dear Lord, right, so you can see what it's going to do here. It's going to create them, for the first row, it's going to put it in position 1, or it's going to put it in position 3, 3, and then the rows going to, the characters go first, don't they? So it's going to be 3, 3, then 3, 6, then 3, 9, all the way across. It's going to be quite large, actually, isn't it? Let's just see how this pans out. Okay. I clicked that, didn't I? Okay. Just check we're still recording. Horrifying if I'm not. We can actually just clean up. We don't know. Let's clean up the debug in a minute. Let's just hit play. This is the moment of truth, people. Here we go. And okay, well, let's go scene view. Well, it seems to have done something rather bizarre. It's only created. It doesn't seem to have created any more than one column. One row, excuse me, which is interesting. And also, it does appear to have rotated them, doesn't it? Let's quick spin up here. So that for me is what is shape 2, which should be, I think, that way round. I think we have a problem with the rotation. I could be wrong. Everything else, I think, seems to be in good order, apart from the fact that it's only done one row. So let's find out why that is. Has it thrown an error? It has thrown an error. Index array is out of range. Let's just find out why it's saying that. What did I put? It's only done the first column. Map generator.map columns -1 C++. What row has it got it from? It doesn't tell you where it's out of range. Oh, there we go. Line 16. Interesting. Oh, charpos. Okay. So let's index out of range. So it couldn't find one of these characters. I wonder what it was. Let's just quickly do this. Let's it seems to have done a whole load of them and then stop, doesn't it? So what I'll do is I'll pause this and find out why that failed. 1 second. Okay, so having had a little look at the issue now, I understand we've hit a couple of problems. Number one is that I'd forgotten that, of course, these O's are there, aren't they? Which are these shapes that we're not currently creating. So what we can do for that is go into our script and just do something along the lines of here, like if brackets ch dot equals quotes O quotes, and then we'll just do continue in there. Okay, that fixes one problem. That fixes the index out of range option. What I should probably do is just check to see what the this position here is, because I think if that's -1, then we could just say continues. Let's just try that. Let's just try that just to cover ourselves. Oh, yeah. Let's do that. So we say if brackets charpos is less than 0, debug dot. No, we don't need to log anything. We'll just say continue for now, and that will actually step out of this iteration of the loop. Alright, so we can try that. Let's just see that. That should avoid the issue with the Yep, so there's no errors anymore. You can see that there's a gap there now where those O's should be, but you can notice that it hasn't rotated them correctly. And the reason for that, as I've just found out, is that this quaternion to identity is not correct. We need to keep the transform the set. We need to use the transform of the prefab, not the quaternion to identity. If I'd ever wondered what that meant, I know now. So that's the reason for that. By the way, I don't know what it is about Unity. I think that one of the reasons it's doing so well is the brilliant forums, where I seem to be able to find answers to all the issues as I hit them. It's such a welcome and open forum. yeah, it's a brilliant place. You got a problem, you ask the question. You won't get any rude answers. You won't get any, you won't get any, oh, you idiot, you should have checked here. People will genuinely try and help you. It's a complicated language, it's a complicated system, and they're all there. They're very much embracing. So well done, guys. Right. So where was I? So what we need to do here is we need to say shapes, jar pos. That will bring the shape in question in for the prefab, and then transform.rotation. So that gets the actual transform of that shape. And if I'm lucky, let's just do one thing. Let's just drag that game. Stop it. Put that there. Sometimes like this, I like to maybe just make it its own window, because I noticed that the console disappears and it goes into game view, which I don't really care about right now. So let's just do that, something like that, and we'll click play. And hallelujah, we have ourselves some tunnels, and they match this here, which is really good news, isn't it? I don't love the way we've designed this. The fact that each of these shapes has to match the exact index of that box characters, but it's not disastrous, is it? I think we're there. I can imagine people that if they were to come back and try and code this and try and look at it and go, "What have you done, guys?" But I think this works quite well. So. Hang on a minute, is that one? Yes, that one's okay. I was just looking at this bit here. I don't know if how well. Oh, do that again. How you can see that, but there's a 0, an O in the top right hand corner, and you can see there's an edge there. So I think what we'll do in the next episode, the next tutorial, is we'll work on cleaning these things up here. I'm still thinking about what the best way to fix these closed loops is. It's possible that we can ignore them, but my concern with that is that if we do ignore them, at some points we're going to create a maze where you're stuck in a closed loop. So I need to have a little think about that, see if there's a way that we can write a clever algorithm that will go and check for closed loops and then open them up. The other thing I thought as well is that this is a little boring. It's very much just a sort of a maze. If you're a rat, you might enjoy it, but if you were a human, you probably want a little bit more interaction. So what I'm thinking of doing is creating some chambers, probably using another character to say this is a chamber, and then having some entrances and exits for there. Haven't thought that through fully yet. I will do for the next episode. Thanks again for watching this one. I'll be sure to create a link to the Unity package so you guys can download this. I suggest you do, because otherwise you're going to have to go through that pain of getting the rotation right. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.